What's going on, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Ducks Dish podcast. I'm your host, Max Torres. We have another big recruiting episode coming at you guys today, and I have a huge guest on the Ducks Dish podcast. Joining me today is 2022 Oregon wide receiver signee Kyler Kasper out of Williamsfield High School in Gilbert, Arizona. Hey, thanks for being here, Kyler. How we doing?
Yes, sir. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. Excited to talk some Ducks with you. Get to learn a little bit more about your story and you as an individual. So just real pumped up to getting closer to football season too. I mean, kind of like the dog days of summer right now, but I mean it'll be here before we know it. So this is my first time talking to you. As a recruit. So I think the easiest question to start with is just why you felt that Oregon was the school for you.
So to be honest, the first time I had went up there, I was more just I didn't really have any thoughts of it. I didn't know too much about Oregon. I just heard that, there's a new staff in there and they're all great people, but I didn't know too much about Oregon previously before that. But going up there, and meeting the staff, the entire staff, the first time and seeing all the facilities and everything, I was kind of blown away. I didn't really expect that. I was kind of just expecting, like the cool jerseys and stuff like that. But like the people were real genuine, all great people, and that kind of took me for like a turn. So we went up the first time and I loved it. And then I was talking to my dad and I was like, I kind of want to go up again and like see if I get the same feeling I did the first time. So we had went up again with more of my family, and my whole family loved it. I loved it as well. So that's when I kind of knew I was kind of over the whole recruiting thing, and I really loved Oregon and loved Coach Adams and Coach Lanning and Coach Dillingham, all the coaches, and so I just knew that was the place to be.
Okay, so kind of like the perfect storm of factors, right? You got the
Hmm.
people, the new staff,
Exactly.
the
Hmm.
facilities. I'm sure the feel of Eugene. I feel like that's really different and something that you can't
Yeah.
understand unless you actually make it out to Western Oregon. Kind of what that college town feel is like.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. It was
Okay,
amazing.
so yeah, you said it kind of sounded like you didn't really have a super solid grasp on what Oregon was like when you first went up there, and kind of
Hmm.
sounds like they kind of got into the picture a little bit late with you if we're talking just when the new staff's coming in.
Yeah.
So how
Yeah.
did Oregon kind of get on your radar initially? Because you were you've been a big time recruit for a long time and had a lot of schools on you.
Well, actually, I was offered by the Cristobal staff originally, and then when the new staff had got up there, I think Coach Dillingham had came up to see me at my school at Williamsfield, and then Coach Adams and then Coach Landon had also came up second time, and so that through that I had got to see them, and then we continued to build a relationship, and then just got to know them, at a more than just a coaching type of level, but like knowing them as people, and they're all amazing people. So that's how.
Okay. And
Hmm.
then yeah, like I said, you had a lot of schools on you throughout the recruiting process. I
Hmm.
think Tennessee was kind of that main school that looked like they were neck and neck with the Ducks as things kind of
Yeah.
came down to the wire. But I mean, just looking through your list, man, you got just about everybody here, kind of a who's who. You got Georgia, LSU, Miami.
Hmm.
So I'm sure you've heard like everything there is as far as flattering pitches or why a certain school wants you to go there for your college ball.
Yeah.
What was Oregon's pitch to you? What was kind of the
Hmm.
selling point there about why they need you in Eugene?
Well, first of all, they're always going to have a quarterback. Oregon's always going to have a great quarterback, and with Coach Dillingham's offense, they're really going to start spreading the ball. And another cool thing is obviously Dante Thornton is there, and he's sort of a taller receiver, so I kind of get to see how they would sort of use me in a way, and I really like that he moves around everywhere because as me as a receiver, I want to be able to go. I mean, to the slot, outside, everywhere across the field and be able to run every route. So that's what they see me as, being able to run every route. Just like I'm tall, some schools see him as a jump ball or whatever, but no, I could actually run routes for a 6'5.5", 6'6" receiver. So yeah, that's basically it. And obviously anywhere I can get to the NFL, but I just feel like being down there in Eugene, I can really lock in on what I need to lock in on, and that my main goal is to get to the NFL. So just pursue that down there in Oregon.
Yeah, you mentioned being able to lock in. I think that
Hmm.
some fans of other schools, let's just keep it at that. Let's say, oh, like
Hmm.
nothing's going on in Eugene. Like, why would anybody want to go there? But I've lived in Eugene for 2 years, and it's very a low key place, and I feel like
Exactly.
you don't have a lot of distractions. That's what some
Exactly.
recruits have told me as far as the
Yep.
appeal there. So I
Hmm.
definitely see what you're saying when it comes to that. Um, you kind of mentioned, Kyler, this might be a little bit of like a two-part question,
Hmm.
that you were ready to kind of be done with the recruiting process by the time it all came to an end. So I
Yeah.
think if it's just to take it from a fan's perspective, you have the news of you committing, you got the icy video dropping, everyone's losing their minds. And then I can't remember when the story originally came out, but hour or so after you made the call, the news broke. Kyler Kasper
Hmm.
going to be reclassifying to 2022,
Hmm.
which is something that we're seeing a little bit more commonly these days. So just kind of wanted to ask what went into that decision for you, because high school football only comes around once, but you're
Hmm.
accelerating it by a whole year.
Well, I think a couple things came into that decision, but the main thing is just honestly, there was no real like positive outcome of me staying another year. Like I already had committed. I knew I wanted to go. I feel my body's mature enough and I'm mature enough to go be able to handle what I need to handle down there at Oregon right now. And then so me staying for another year, just another chance to get hurt, something bad to happen. So I was just ready to go and get started. I feel like I can go play with those guys right now. So that's really the main reason.
Okay, yeah, I feel like every year you see those handful of high school players that they look like they can play in college right now. They look like they're
Yeah,
college ready, especially along like
exactly.
the trenches. Like you're seeing bigger and bigger high school guys that look like they're college
Hmm.
ready. And what
Yep.
you were talking about, 6'5", 195, 200 pounds,
Hmm.
definitely kind of have that college ready frame. And I bet Wilson Love's excited to get to work with you in the weight room
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
Um, and then, okay, so that's kind of where your head was at with that. Was
exactly.
that the plan for a while, or was that only kind of after you decided it was going to be the Ducks?
So that had came up in a couple of conversations with some other schools, and we were just talking about it. And then this one school had kind of brought it to my attention, and at first I was like, no, like I want to go through my senior year of high school. And then I was really thinking about it more, and then talking to my parents about it, and just realizing that there's really not a benefit that would come out of staying. So we talked it over with Oregon and figured out what I can do. So then from there, basically, that was it. They were all in. I was all in.
Okay, yeah, you got your
Yeah,
some clarity in your next chapter, getting all that figured out.
yeah.
Um, and I think another part that's cool about the recruiting process, or maybe a little bit under discussed, is you have all the crazy photo shoots. You have
Mhm.
schools that are bringing cars out onto the field for guys to take pictures with. I don't know if you saw Samson Okunlola's pictures, but he's the pancake
Mhm.
guy. So you got
Yeah,
syrup and pancakes in these photo shoots. There's a lot of really cool hype elements around the recruiting
yeah.
process. But from your point of view, you're hopping on late flights, you're traveling all over the country, you got coaches
Mhm.
blowing up your phone, and you name
Mhm.
it. There's something that you got to deal with. What were some of
Mhm.
the lessons that you were able to learn after going through the recruiting process and kind of
Yeah.
being out on the other end now?
I mean, there's a lot of things that I learned, but a lot of, I mean, I did build a lot of great relationships. I learned not to, burn any bridges with anybody because you never know where a coach may be. So there's no reason to, if a school, even if you're not so interested, just completely ghost them like they're showing you like want that they want you in their program. So, you gotta respect every coach, even if you know it's not option or decision that you want to go there. You know that off the bat, you still got to respect them and talk to them. And even if you know that, you might as well explain. They get told no every day, so you might as well explain to them why it's not an option for you, and that'll be much better than just ghosting someone. Although it is hard when you're getting a lot of text throughout every day, and at first it's fun, but it eventually gets tiring. But it's something you just got to deal with, and you got to just deal with it. But that's why eventually, after about a year of that, I was ready to just wrap it up and then lock in on one school and start building and now me being a recruiter and trying to get guys to come to my school. So
Yeah, going from recruit to recruiter is kind of that big
exactly.
transition before you get to Oregon, and then even when you do get to Oregon, that'll be the players are the best recruiters oftentimes.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I know when you were going through the process, I can definitely admire the respect that you have for those coaches, being able to just be real with them. I feel like that genuine interaction is something that I hear so often when I'm talking to recruits.
Hmm.
And at the end of the day, it's hard to tell coaches no,
It is. It's difficult.
but something that you just kind of got to do with the process. It's how things go. You can only go to one school. You spoke really highly, Kyler, of the new coaching staff at Oregon. So I wanted to ask you
Hmm.
about a couple guys,
Yep.
starting with your future position coach, Junior Adams. I kind of feel like he flew under the radar a little bit when he got hired. I don't think he
Hmm.
was like, Junior Adams is going to Oregon and everyone's like, wow, like this is like a guy who's, really super, super high level. I'm not trying to downplay him at all. I'm just saying from my perception with like fans and stuff, it wasn't like everyone was like losing their minds or anything, but this dude's just balled out as a recruiter since he's gotten to Oregon. Chase Coda, yourself, Jurion. Just tell me a little bit about your relationship with Coach Adams and what you think makes him special.
Coach Adams is a great guy. He's a great. It's beyond coaching. He's a great family man. He's great to all his players. He really gets to know his players and has all their backs. And I saw that, and then hearing from the players as well, like how much he really has their back. It just makes me feel comfortable going there and knowing that I mean, obviously, anywhere you go to college, you got to earn your spot and earn everything. But knowing that he's gonna look out for me and help me during the process, so that knowing that helps a lot, makes it a lot easier transition. But his coaching wise, he's an amazing coach. Like being able to see him coach at practice, he doesn't. He's not gonna put any players down, and when he yells, it's all positive. Everything that comes out of him is really just positive. He never. If someone's like having a bad day, he's gonna talk them through it. He's not. I mean, that's rare, especially for a college coach, like to help out a player like that. They're just most coaches will put them aside or get be down on them, but Coach Adams will always lift you up, like no matter what. And I mean, his knowledge of the game is obviously amazing. Like hearing from him in the meetings, and then him coaching Cooper Cup. My bad. I mean, everyone saw what Cooper Cup did, and he showed me a lot of videos of him going through drills, and then the same exact drills were applied on the field. So he knows what he's talking about, and he's just a great person to coach as well.
That coaching approach definitely reminds me a little bit of Coach Lachlan and what Dante Dowdell told me as far as
Hmm.
his approach to things, and not cursing at his players, but still being able to be stern. And with
Exactly.
Coach Adams, you're saying he's building you up, and
Hmm.
a lot of people I've talked to when I ask them about Adams, they reference Cooper Cup, obviously winning the
Hmm.
Super Bowl and then winning the Super Bowl MVP. That's definitely big. And I think
Yep.
now some of the excitement from the Oregon side of things is that they've been recruiting the position at a super high level, but
Hmm.
now there's kind of, you got Kyler Kasper, you got Jonte Thornton, Troy Franklin. Who's going to be the next Cooper Cup in this Junior
Hmm.
Adams kind of lineage?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Okay, and then got to ask you about Coach Lanning. The guy running the show. He
Hmm.
comes over from Georgia. Obviously, there's a lot of hype around the defensive side of the ball, but things haven't really slowed down on the offensive side when it comes to recruits. But what
Hmm.
do you kind of see in Coach Lanning that inspires so much confidence?
Um, Coach Landon just walks around with just energy and confidence, everywhere he goes. He's a great guy to be around, and just like, you can feel his energy whenever you're in the same room as him. He's always happy, up tempo. Obviously, when the time comes where he needs to, get serious and get stern on his players, he will. But besides that, he's a great individual, great family man, and just a great coach, and he's all in on this Oregon program, and I can see that, and so can a lot of other people. So I'm excited to get down there and just work and get to work for him, basically.
Absolutely. Okay. So
Hmm.
feels like Dan Lanning is just a ball of energy anytime
It
you see him
is
on social,
exactly.
those videos and pictures and everything. But we're going to
Hmm.
step away for a very quick break. And then on the other side, we're going to talk more with Kasper, the 2022 Oregon Ducks wide receiver signee. So stay with us, and we will be right back after this. All right, welcome back to the Ducks Dish podcast. I'm your host, Max Torres, talking with Kasper, 2022 Oregon Ducks wide receiver signee. So, Kyler, just wanted to learn a little bit more about you as a player and as a
Hmm.
person. I wanted to focus on your play style at the wide receiver position because
Hmm.
I feel like not a lot of guys have the athleticism that you do. In your commitment video, I think you were doing like a behind the back or a windmill dunk on somebody that was just crazy to watch. But so just tell me a little bit about your play style and what other kind of athletics sports we have in the picture for you here. Growing up.
Well, growing up, I kind of played a little bit of everything. I played football, basketball, lacrosse. I boxed for 8 years and played like a little bit of soccer, everything. But you know, getting older, I played basketball, football, and then I did track last year, actually, high jump and then long jump for the first time. So that was pretty fun. But just being versatile, I like just being good at basically everything I do, and I think that's helped me on the football field as well because, but with basketball, especially basketball, you have to be left and right hand have to be the same. So I feel like my left and right, I feel like I'm pretty whatever the word is I can use.
Ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous, exactly. I feel like I can use both hands and everything the same. So and with lacrosse too, growing up, I played that, so that helped me a lot. But I think all that translates well onto the football field. Jump balls, I'm going up and getting every jump ball, and then movement, like off of releases and all that translates back to basketball. So all that stuff really comes into football. And football wise, I mean, I just feel like I'm different every time I step on the field because I know no one's going to be able to go jump and get the ball on me, and then I know my routes. Obviously, there's always work to do and room for improvement, but I feel like my routes for my height, not many people can run routes like me at my height. So that's just a huge thing for me is just routes. Being able to be 6'5.5" and then be able to run routes like I'm 6 foot. That's the main thing I've been working on, just my routes and speed, so I can really differ myself from every other tall receiver.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of custom at this point when you've come across receivers of your size to say, oh, he's just a 50-50 jump ball kind of guy. But I like how
Hmm.
you want to be someone who's 6'5", but is also technically sound and can do a lot of different
Exactly.
things, can be a threat with the ball in his hands, kind of a deal after the catch.
Hmm.
So that'll, I'm sure, help you, see the field sooner than later with,
Hmm.
with the Ducks. Another unique thing with you, Kyler, is that you have an NFL dad or a former NFL dad with your dad, Kevin, being a wide receiver at the highest level.
Hmm.
What was it like just kind of growing up with that in the picture? And, how has that kind of changed your guys' relationship or kind of how does that make your relationship?
Well, I mean, since I can remember, football's always been in my life since I can remember. I mean, back when I'm like my first baby pictures, like I'm holding a football, just since since the really beginning. So when I was like about 6 is when I really started training and taking football seriously. So we're from Chicago, so back in Chicago, I would train every day after school, and then I started flag football when I was 6, tackle when I was 7. So ever since I've been 6, I've been just just eager to learn about the sport, and hearing from him, obviously he's played and done it like you said, so that's a huge benefit to me to be able to just hear from him, and beyond even the football stuff, more of just like the process of it all, especially going to college, and obviously it's going to be difficult at first, but hearing little things from him help me out is going to help me out, just knowing in the back of my mind that's going to help me out a lot. So I mean, there's a million ways he's helped me, but I'm really grateful to have him to be able to help guide me through this.
Yeah, it's a cool dynamic because I think, not to put other parents down by any means, but like your dad's like in really good shape and like he looks like he could give you a little bit of run here and there maybe.
Oh yeah, no, I try to. I mean, he can give anyone a run for real. Like working out with him, I work out with him as much as I can, and he just doesn't get tired. Like he literally, I don't know, he's ridiculous, but he loves it, so that's what he does.
And you mentioned how he kind of helped you with the process, but had that unique experience to draw on and reflect
Mhm.
on. What were some of the lessons that you kind of thought resonated with you as you were kind of going about making your decision and thinking about what he had told you?
Well, I mean, he told me for the longest time. Obviously, he went to Iowa, and when I was I mean, growing up my whole life, I thought I was gonna go to Iowa. Like that's just I had no other thought in my head, and I was like, I'm going to Iowa. But and then right when I got the offer from Iowa, I kind of wanted. I was like, I'm ready to commit. I might as well. There's nowhere else I really want to go. And that was because that was like my second offer, and he was like, "Well, no, like wait, like trust me, you want to be able to see things." And he wanted me to go to Iowa more than anything, but he's like, "Wait, just wait. You need to take your time, be able to see everything." A lot of people are like, "Your dad like mad at you for not going to Iowa," but not at all. He wanted me to, go where I loved and felt comfortable at, and he loved it. He loved it as well. So it's not like he's hating on or anything. Every time he goes down, he loves the whole staff. He loves Coach Adams, Coach Landon, all the whole staff. They're amazing people. So I mean, he wasn't pressuring anything. He wanted me to really feel for the school that I was going to, and just get a feel for all these schools. He tried to help me get everywhere I can to get down on visits and all that stuff. So having him in the picture was huge during this process.
Yeah, fun to be able to share that with him, and I think for
Mhm.
him to be able to go through that with you,
Yeah.
probably a small part of him that definitely still wishes you were going to Iowa, but they're kind of a cool team to look at. I feel like they're like one of those
Mhm.
really gritty teams. They're always good in the trenches, and they
Yep.
can kind of you don't really want to run into them on
Yeah.
any given Saturday. So I'm gonna keep my eye on them. But
Mhm.
what else do I have here? I think another thing that some people would be interested to know, Kyler, we see so much of recruits on, their huddle film, on social
Mhm.
media, what have you. But I wanted to get a better feel for kind of who you are off the field, any kind
Mhm.
of interests you have, or maybe what you like to do when you're not grinding and putting in the work.
I mean, I love playing basketball, pickup games, and all that stuff. That's probably my main hobby. Outside, obviously, I'm still in Arizona right now, so it's super hot. So it's difficult, find the gym sometimes where we can get everybody at the hoop. But I mean, hooping is that's something I've always loved since I was a little kid. That and football are my two favorite sports. And then just, I mean, I like kicking back, playing video games with my friends, just regular stuff. Keep playing video games, hanging out with my friends. But I say my main thing is playing basketball.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
playing basketball. So, I'm a Warriors fan, so I'm a little bit spoiled being from the Bay Area. But I know that the Suns have been making some noise though, in past
yeah.
couple seasons.
Yeah. Well, I mean, originally I'm a Bulls fan, but since I moved here, I mean,
Sure.
I'm not gonna be a bandwagon or anything. But I mean, the Suns are cool. I don't really have a main. I want to say I like have like a team I'm all out for. I'm more of like players for every sport. I like players more than anything, but yeah, the Suns have been doing good. They just can't finish it. They're
So,
struggling.
who you rocking with then? If you're more of a players kind of a guy.
Probably my two favorite players right now is Ja Morant, number one, Anthony Edwards, number two. Those are probably my two favorite. And then I got some other ones, but all time Allen Iverson for sure though.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ja just feels like he's taken the league by storm. And then it's funny you mentioned Anthony Edwards because I was gonna ask you about video games, and I remember I had a
Mhm.
2K Diamond card with Anthony Edwards that was going pretty
Yeah.
crazy. What games do you like to play?
Um, I didn't play 2K this year because I was waiting until I got the new Xbox and I just got it. So I'm just gonna wait till next year. But I mean I play 2K and I play Madden and then I've been on Warzone a lot recently. And I mean Fortnite I throw Fortnite on every once in a while. But I mean probably my main game right now has been Warzone.
Okay, yeah, I know that a lot of Oregon players they like to hop on their lives when they're playing
Yeah,
Warzone or whatever game it is. I
yeah.
know we only got a couple more minutes with you, Kyler. So kind of wanted to go a little bit more big picture with things. I think more and more players, recruits are kind of getting an awareness, growing their awareness that football doesn't last forever.
Mhm.
Kind of a sad but harsh reality. So just kind of wanted to ask what maybe some of your big picture goals were for in life. I'm not sure how far ahead you're
Mhm.
looking, but I bet
Mhm.
that's a piece of the puzzle that your dad kind of probably shed some light on.
Mhm.
Just off the field, or maybe on and off the field, kind of what kind of goals you have in mind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my main thing is I wanna be a great family man and eventually be a great father, and that's my main thing in life. But other goals besides that, maybe I'm not too sure on anything exactly now. I got more time to figure that out. But
Yeah.
I wa- I definitely want to stay in sports or stay in football at least, like coaching or opening up a training facility be real cool. Especially I mean down here where I'm at right now, I don't think there's like a good I mean there's some good training facilities, but I feel like with the knowledge I have about all that stuff, I could really excel in that. But there's a bunch of many things I'm interested in, but nothing I'm exactly set on yet.
Okay. Yeah,
Hmm.
we see a lot of players that like to stick around the game when it comes to coaching or mentoring,
Hmm.
training facility. That definitely sounds like it's right up that alley.
Yeah,
And I like what you said about being a good family man because you want to be a good. There's so much craziness going on in the world. Like we just need more good people. So I
exactly.
definitely like to hear that. Just a
Hmm.
couple more for you, man. One of the ones that I
Hmm.
thought I wanted to ask earlier that I'm kind of just remembering now. You talk about how hot it is in Arizona. I got some buddies that live in Scottsdale. What
Hmm.
what's it just like playing in the heat? Like how can you kind of describe that other than like, oh, it's super hot? Like what do you is there anything different that's kind of in place to kind of keep you guys going and take care of when you're on that hot turf?
Well, for my high school, we practice. We would have weights from I think 1:30 to 3, and then we would go from practice from 3 to 5, which is very hot, and it's on the turf too. So, your feet are burning every day throughout the summer. So that's rough, and I wanna say you almost kind of get used to it, but it's like you'll never get used to it because every day it's ridiculously hot, but it's it's ridiculous. But I mean, it does help like during the season, like especially when it starts like cool. I swear Arizona would just like it'll be super hot and then just one day it'll be cool and then it'll start being cool. So once that day hits and then it starts being cool after that, you appreciate that like so much more and it really makes everything else like a lot easier. Like I really am excited to go down to Oregon just knowing I'm gonna be able to run routes and stuff and not just feel like I'm about to pass out the whole time. That's gonna be fun. But yeah, it does make everything else a lot easier, and it's a mental thing for sure. Obviously, it can get a physical thing because I mean, some people like literally pass out. You gotta stay super hydrated and all that stuff, but it is a mental thing. Just working through the heat, especially when you got helmets and pads on. It gets rough, but it's I mean, it builds character, and yeah,
Okay. Well, you kind of took I
yeah.
think my last question out of my mouth a little bit, but you're getting to Oregon this summer to join the
Mhm.
Ducks ahead of the 2022 season. What would you say you're most excited about for this next journey that awaits you when you get to Eugene?
Mhm. I'm game days are gonna be ridiculous. I can't wait. I want to go in there. and play this season. I know they got a bunch of dogs at the wideout position, but I feel like I can go in there and play this season and make an impact this season. So that's my goal, is to go down there right now and just show out as a true freshman and play in front of the stadium. I can't wait to go show out in front of everybody and show what I can do. So that's really it.
Yeah, I can vouch that game days definitely hit different in Eugene. You know,
Yeah.
I like the fall
Yeah.
misty mornings, and then it kind of gets nice by the time kickoff
Mhm.
rolls around. But you've been super generous with your time, Kyler, so I want to get you out of here.
Yeah,
But
no problem.
before we get to that, where can people find more of you, whether it be social media, Twitter, Instagram? Just
Mhm.
wanted to give you a chance to plug that.
So my Instagram is Kyler.Kasper. My Twitter is Kasper Kyler. And then that's really the main two I'm on right now. So go follow those, and then I try to be consistent on those so everyone can stay up to date.
All right, you guys got to make sure you go tap in with Kyler on his socials over there. If you want to find more of me, you can follow me on Twitter at mtorresports, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel at Oregon Football Max Torres. If you guys can go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button, it is a tremendous help with what I'm trying to do, covering the Ducks. And head on over to ducksdigest.com for all your latest Oregon football and recruiting news and interviews. But that'll do it for us on this episode of the Ducks Dish podcast. A big thanks to Kyler for coming on. And we will catch you guys in the next episode. Take care.
Yes, sir. Peace.